Hello, Alicia here. I'm bringing you a 10-minute workout today that is specifically for you mums out there that have recently had a baby. Now, it is recommended that you actually don't start any kind of exercise program until at least 6 weeks postpartum, and you've already seen your doctor and physio, so please make sure that you've done that before you do this workout today. Now, this workout is going to be focused on getting those muscles that have sort of had a lot happen to them actually start to work again. So it's going to be a little bit of core, very gently, a little bit of our back and our butt and also our chest as well. So I hope you enjoy it. Now I want you to come down with me on the floor. We're going to start our timer and we're going to just come down lying on our back into neutral spine position. And we're going to start just by finding neutral spine. So making sure those feet are on the ground. Now I want you to imagine that you've got a clock sitting on your tummy and 6 o'clock is at the bottom, 12 o'clock's at the top. Now I want you to tip your hips forward and arch that back up off the mat towards 6 o'clock. And now I want you to go to the other direction and just press that back into the floor. Can you feel that difference? So there's quite a big arch here when you tip towards 6. And then when you tip towards 12, you're flattening out the back. Now what we want to do is find neutral, which is in the middle, with a slight arch so that you can just fit your fingers underneath at the side. And I want you to imagine there's a little butterfly sitting under there. You're not crushing it, so it's not flat like this, but you're not letting it out either, so it's not overly arched. Okay. Now I want you to take your fingers just in from your hip bones and I want you to press them in and I want you to give me a little cough like that. Did you feel that muscle pushing against your fingers? That's called your TAs. Now I want you to now pull slightly, pulling that TA muscle in and put some tension on your fingers without coughing. Now, if this is the first time you've done some exercise since coming back from having a baby, this might be quite difficult. So do your best to just try and find a little bit of tension on those deep abdominal muscles. What we're going to do now is I want you to engage your pelvic floor. So these are the muscles that we use when we stop ourselves from weeing. So I want you to imagine that you are contracting them and you're zipping up. And as you do that, I want you to hold for about 10 seconds those muscles. These ones also are really important to try and contract and engage again after having a baby. So once you've held for about 10 seconds, I want you to release. And I want you to zip up again, engaging those TAs as well as your pelvic floor. And hold. That's it, and release. Now, continue to try and contract those muscles as we go into some leg lifts. So, keeping this switched on here at the TAs, I just want you to lift off one foot and tap it down again. And what you're aiming for is keeping contraction, and if it helps to keep those fingers in on the sides of your hip bones, you do that. You want to keep that contraction in those TA muscles while you're lifting and placing that foot back down. Nice and slow. Good. You should be able to feel a slight push against your fingers. Keep going with these leg lifts. Nice and slow. Now we're going to take it into a lift and a slide. So I want you to lift one foot, tap it down, and then slide that foot out along the floor and bring it back in. And you might notice that as you do this, it's getting slightly more difficult to keep those TAs engaged as you lengthen that foot out. So lift, tap, and slide. And bring it back in. Now you're not aiming to have those TAs like 100% maxed out on tension. 25% is plenty. So as long as you can feel some contraction, that's what we're looking for. And slide, that's the way. Lift, tap, slide. And again. And good. Okay, let's bring those knees in for a knee hug. I just want you to hold them here. Enjoy that stretch. Pulling them in. Some deep breaths in through the nose, out through the mouth. That's the way. Pull it in. Now you can gently rock from side to side here. Releasing that lower back. This feels so great. It's really nice to give our lower back also a little bit of a stretch and relax because they're connected to our abdominal muscles as well. Okay, let's put our feet back down. We're going to move now into some spine curls. So I want you to find that neutral spine position again, where there's still that small gap, a slight arch in the back. What we're going to do is we're going to go from there into flattening our back and then slowly lifting our spine up off the ground, one vertebrae at a time. So very slow until we're up into a glute bridge and we squeeze our glutes and then we lower one vertebrae at a time back down. So this one's very slow and controlled, and we go back to that neutral spine and we start again. So start with flattening and rolling your pelvis under and then lift and slowly back down and neutral spine again. Flatten that back, slowly lift that spine, squeeze the glutes and then roll back down into neutral spine. Let's do it again. Up nice and slow, pushing those feet into the ground as you do it. Okay, now I want you to take your arms out at 90 degrees out from your shoulders, and we're going to do some arm openings. Now, if you've been breastfeeding or holding bub at the front here, it's going to take not very much until you start getting a little bit hunched over. So this is going to be a great exercise for opening up through that chest. So hands out wide. We're going to bring one arm up and we're going to bring it across, bringing our shoulder blade off and reaching towards our other hand. And then follow it back over. Now go to the other side. Bring that hand over. Shoulder can come off, but try to keep the butt on the ground as we go from side to side, reaching across, stretching through the chest and through the upper back. And reach. And back over. Last one. Right across. And then back over. Very good. Okay, let's come up now into our cat-cow position. And we're going to just give our spine a really good stretch. So on all fours, I want you to start by tucking your chin underneath and really stretching through that back. Hold it here for a second and now release. The other way, looking up and stretching. Let's go under. That's it, tuck that chin. And then release. Let's do that again. Under we go. And looking up. Breathe in as you come under. And then breathe out. Okay, very good. We've got one last stretch, and that's going to be child's pose. So we're just going to come down onto our legs. I want you to reach those hands forward, and I just want you to drop down so your head is resting on the floor and you're slightly pulling away with your body from your hands. Now, if you can't get right down onto your haunches here, it's okay to keep that bottom up, keep it up, and then just rest your head like this. So whatever you find more comfortable, I want you to do that. I just want you to rest here, breathe deeply, and stretch. And remember, you've got this option here too of sitting right back and stretching out through the back, through the shoulders. It's a great stretch. And coming up slowly. Well done, there you go. Pilates postnatal workout, all finished. This is a really great little set of exercises that you can do probably every day to every second day just to get those muscles engaged and activated again. So I hope you enjoyed that, and I look forward to you joining us again soon for another 10-minute workout. Until then, take care and see you later.